The following episode will contain spoilers. You have been warned.
You're listening to Cinema IRL, the podcast that throws you into the movie and asks the question, what would you do? You think you could handle having gravity whip you into deep space? Are you sure? Amber and Scott aren't so sure after watching Slingshot. And now, Cinema IRL.
I wish I could switch places for just one day.
What would you do?
Put yourself in my shoes.
How do we handle this?
What would you do?
Put yourself in my position.
What would you do?
Now it's your turn.
I don't care what his name was. I'm calling him Frenchie.
Yes, the actor in this episode's film is indeed Frenchie on The Boys. But this episode, he was...
Nash.
Yes, Nash.
But I'm calling him Frenchie.
In the movie Slingshot, yes. I also thought of him frequently as Frenchie and glad that there was not gross, sexual, weird crap going on up in that spaceship like goes on to The Boys. Like, The Boys actually is needed to give me therapy, but that's another topic for another time. So, yes, this film, Slingshot, it follows an astronaut who struggles to maintain his grip on reality aboard a possibly fatal compromise mission to Saturn's moon. So, we've already given the spoiler warning up front, and I don't even know if we can say spoilers here if we wanted to, because there's just a lot of weirdness open to interpretation. But for the sake of our episode...
Yeah, yes, we have the message up front for a reason.
Yeah. So for the purposes of our episode, we're going to put ourselves into the position of the characters and ask the very popular question here.
What would you do?
Yes. So our main character is John, and he is on a spaceship with Nash and Captain Frank.
Yes.
And as they go on this mission, they have long periods of hibernation, which are about 90 days. And when they come out, there's a warning that you'll be disoriented, you'll be confused, you'll be nauseous. And sure enough, they are. They're all very confused. And at many points in the film, you're not sure what's real and what's not.
I am going to something that bugged me.
Yes.
At a certain point, Frenchie told him to...
Frenchie/Nash, yes.
To set his hibernation timer for 89 days and 12 hours, because normally...
12 hours short of the
12
normal.
hours short of it. But here's the thing. When he came out, he had been aboard for 1 year, 2 months, 29 days, 12 hours.
Are you upset about some math not equaling out because you are a numbers guy?
The previous time that he came out, they had been out for 1 year, 5 days, and something. So they were already 5 days beyond where...
Well, they have a couple of days that they're not in the pod, so that's what I...
Well, I know,
that too.
but that's what I'm saying is when he came out, it should have been 1 year, 3 months, 4 days, 12 hours, something closer to that.
Okay, so math aside, let's look at our characters. So if I was an astronaut up in space on a mission and I was kept asleep for 3 months at a time, and then when I came out, I was warned that I could be confused, and then I started seeing things like the ship potentially getting damaged or getting hit by a meteor or some sort of something, I can't imagine the stress of trying to argue with yourself over, is this really happening or not? Am I imagining it?
Yeah, so there is a reason why the psych evaluations to be an astronaut are so insanely rigorous.
Right.
Because in those scenarios, it is easy to go cray-cray, especially if you're talking about powerful drugs that make you sleep for 3 months at a time.
Yeah, I can't even imagine that. So just think about, as you're talking about, the test to even become a candidate to go out into outer space and the level of deprivation and confinement and lack of connection. Like, the mental toll that has to take seems unbearable. If that was me, I don't think I'd have the chops for it.
Oh, I think the vast majority of people would not have the chops for it. I mean, like this is not you're normal, you're fine, you can do this. Like, you need to be more than fine, you need to be exemplary.
Yeah.
And most people by definition of exemplary, are not.
Yeah. The other dynamic here with the movie that I think is worth exploring from a what would you do standpoint is the relationship. So John was in a relationship with someone else who was part of the program, the space program.
Maybe.
And, yeah, because we don't know what was real and what was not, and what he was imagining and what was actually happening. But as far as we know, he was in a relationship with a woman. And as he was trying to pass all the tests to be chosen for this mission, she says, "I love you." He kind of doesn't say it back. He says, "I've got feelings. I feel stuff." And he ends up going into space with them having broken up because she didn't want him to go. Even though he said, "This is the most important thing I could ever do with my life," but she didn't want to lose him.
Yeah, I didn't check. This was definitely written by a dude, though.
Was it?
Who did not know how to write a woman. No,
Why is that?
Well, no, seriously. It made
Why do you say that?
she ended up being a very weak character because, I know this is everything that we said that we were all about this, but fuck it, I love you. No, that's not how jobs like that work. If you're in, you're in. I mean, and that's what it is. You don't again, kind of in the whole exemplary thing, you have to be a specific kind of person. I mean, it's more than being exemplary. You have to be the specific type of person who can easily separate themselves emotionally if they need to. And
well, in their relationship too, they went into it knowing that his goal was to leave the planet. He's getting out of town, and that there was a very real possibility that they wouldn't see each other again because, again, he's going off into outer space. Do you even get into a relationship when you know that those are the parameters?
I mean, define relationship.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just looking for someone to spend the time with, that's much different. And I think they were at different points, too, is he really didn't have connection with very many people. So I think he was enthralled with her and the fact that she was this amazingly brilliant woman who was part of this program. And she seemed equally interested in him, but starting a relationship knowing that you have this time frame is always challenging. But in this case, knowing that the person is leaving on a mission that they might not return from.
Though, let me throw out something. I'm just kind of thinking about things a little bit here. Let me just throw out the possibility that she wasn't real.
Yeah. That's,
at all.
yeah,
She never was.
It's certainly a very real possibility that most of the things we saw weren't real. And for anyone who is curious about Slingshot, definitely recommend checking it out. It is
Oh, you fucked up. If you're still listening at this point, you've already screwed up because we've divulged way too much. And yeah, you should have already seen it.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you had any interest in it, hopefully you've seen it before you came to us because we ruin things. But it is definitely a film worth seeing because it does keep you on your toes. It has a very limited set because they're on a spaceship and very few characters, but it's very engaging and it definitely makes you think a lot.
Yeah. I mean, even now, I could make... When you came out, there were 3 reasonable scenarios. I mean, one that there was a crew of 3, one that there was a crew of 1, and one that it was a simulation underground. And the truth is I could actually make very strong arguments for all 3 of those being what reality was and arguments against it. So it's actually...
Well, and it goes back to our initial question for our show is if you were in a situation where you knew that your reality might not be real, how do you check yourself or how do you create some sort of system in place to help you navigate that?
So believe it or not, this is actually a topic that I have riffed on in my brain.
I believe that.
A lot. I mean, a lot.
That's actually just not even a surprise.
And it's has nothing to do with space travel. It has everything to do with dementia. Because as I've told you, that is something that runs in my family. It is.
And you already slightly demented.
I mean, I know that's a joke, but it's also not. I think I am a little bit. But no, I mean, there is going to be a point where, I mean, if anyone's ever seen The Father, one of the best depictions of dementia you're ever going to find, and it's scary as hell.
Yeah, that was a very good film. Definitely worth checking out.
But yeah, because at a certain point, you're going to get to the point where you don't know what's real. And now let's take this in a post-2023 world where AI is rampant. Like, you can be not demented at all and not necessarily know what's real.
Welcome to politics in the USA.
Oh dear God! I mean, it's not even just politics. It's just, I mean, AI.
Yeah.
I mean, I can clone my own voice easily. You don't even know whether or not this is AI. It's not AI, but it could be. No, I have too much emotion. I mean, but it is interesting. I have used AI, like I do the Fantasy Football Monsters, and I have cloned some of my characters' voices, and it's pretty close. I mean, it's real close to actually being like legit. So, but yeah, how do you check yourself? Because if you're an astronaut, you have to go into it believing, okay, I know that this is something that can happen. This is reasonable. I am human. And while I've passed a lot of psych evaluations, there is a certain point of this that you don't truly know.
And did those psych evaluations even really happen? Like, when anything is in question, everything is in question.
Well, I meant the pre-launch psych evaluations. Like, you are
before you're
you're put through
space.
a bajillion psychological things on the ground. But
If you were given the opportunity to go into space, would you?
I mean, I'm not slingshot into Triton, right? Not Triton. Sorry,
Titan.
Titan.
Yeah,
Triton.
Saturn's moon.
Triton's a different moon. That's Neptune's moon, I believe.
So would you go?
I want to say yes. I'm also at an age that was very impressionable for me when I watched the Challenger go boom. And there's always still that in the back of my brain about, even though, yes, we are way further, and even to the point you have things like Blue Origin that have literally made it touristy. Like, it probably is safe. I think from a Blue Origins type perspective, yes, I would. I'd even do something that maybe, I don't know, you went to the ISS for 24 hours.
The ISS?
International Space Station.
Oh, yeah.
But no, as far as any true length of time, I know my mental health isn't going to like that one.
You just want a joyride in outer space
Yeah,
and
I
come
mean,
back.
yeah, I'm willing to joyride. I'm not willing to take on a 2-year mission.
I mean, if I could go up and see the Earth, just to look back and see the Earth and the oceans and the land and really see the entire Earth, I think I would do that. I can't. I'm actually kind of getting choked up and a little weepy thinking of how inspiring that would be. Can you imagine looking down and seeing the Earth?
Well, luckily, thanks to quite a few movies that have come out, yes, I can imagine it.
Yeah.
But I think it would be interesting.
I don't know if, given the opportunity to do a mission like in this film where you're going to Saturn's moon and you're out in space for 2+ years, that I'll leave that to the professionals.
And that just reminds me of something I saw. I mean, it was a number of years ago where they went up, a ship went up into like what was technically considered outer space. It was like that low layer, and somebody skydived from there, and it was insane. Like, it was to the point that you really were like, you could kind of see like some of the bigger picture. Like, it was crazy. I don't even know how he lived. But it was like one of those super extreme, like sponsored by Red Bull things or something. I don't know.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'll have to find a video on it. But I was like, wow. So you're like almost in outer space, and then you're just gonna jump.
Yeah, if I'm in outer space, I think I would like to stay inside the vehicle.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? For me, that goes for anything that is more than, let's call it, 8 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
Maybe 7 feet.
Good advice. Good life advice.
So, yeah, I wouldn't. If I was the commander, I wouldn't have a loaded gun on the ship. I can tell you that. If I'm NASA, I'm not.
I would.
I'm not.
I'm going to space. I may as well go all out and pack heat and bring moonshine and I don't know, just all the stuff that I normally wouldn't do because I have thrown caution to the wind and I'm in outer space. So, anything goes.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't want to be a long-term astronaut. But yeah, no, I mean, we really did hit the point on what do you do when kind of getting back to the whole, when you're losing your grip on reality, like you need an anchor of some form. Like you need.
And I don't think any anchor, whether we're talking about being in outer space and losing your mind or actually any sort of mental setbacks due to just natural aging, I don't know if you can have an anchor that actually will withstand anything because you can say, oh, well, I wrote this saying, believe everything that I do. And it's like, did I do that? Did I write that? Is it real? Was I impaired when I wrote it? I don't know that even if, you should watch a video. If you recorded your video and you say, watch the video and it says, believe everything you say or do or whatever. It's like, was I coerced to do that video?
Yeah.
Is that doctored video?
Since I'm doing movie callbacks here, I'm reminded of 50 First Dates. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, you showed it to me.
Yeah. So near the end, because she only has short-term memory for the day, they made a video that basically got added to that she would watch every morning so that she knew what was going on. It was basically her talking to herself. And like, I feel like that's got to be something you do. And and again, in an AI age, I don't know.
You have to trust the people around you. So if they're involved in whatever these pieces are to ground you, that you fully and completely trust the source.
Which once you get deep enough into dementia, you don't. So
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, it is, I'm sure that there's studies or things out there that touch on this. We don't really have time to go into it. So, but it's an interesting thing. I think if you are in that scenario, you do need to find a way. And I don't know what it is. I can't even make any suggestions. Google search, bitches. That's all I'm going to say because that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Well, in the meantime, I'm going to send you off into outer space and let you do some math.
We hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you for listening. And to catch all the new episodes, please subscribe. We release 2 to 3 episodes weekly, so we'll have new content regularly. Until next time.